From this symbol, to this, and the history goes back that in 1867 the French captured southern part of Vietnam and subsequently they bought Tamils from tiny enclaves like Pondicherry and Karaikal from southern coast of India. The Tamils initially came as workers. This was in the 19th century. Later, the Chettiar community, which are referred to as the Nagartars, came to Vietnam for money lending purpose, and these are the people who built 3 temples in Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon. One of these is what we are looking at, is the Mariamman temple. The other one is a Subramanya or a Shanmuga temple, and the third one is named as Indal Pani temple, which is again a Muruga or a Shanmuga temple. The Nagartar are a smaller community, and initially the men came and married Vietnamese wives. Their offspring have pure Tamil names but are unable to speak any Tamil, and they speak Vietnamese. Initially there were no priests. The Nagartar community took care as caretakers and did not know the puja rituals, but just did arati and chanting some slokas and distributed vibhuti and prasadam. They also built vahanas or utsava murtis, and some were built in Vietnam, some bought from India. In April of 1975, of the reunification, the socialist government closed down all the places of worship in Vietnam, including the Hindu temples, and the temple was used for drying fish on the roof and as factories, for example, making agarbatti. The Mariamman temple is not visited and worshipped by Hindus alone. Many Vietnamese come as they believe the Mariamman has a special power. There are only about 50 to 60 Tamil families in Saigon. The main deity, which I may not be able to fully photograph, has 2 guardians, Madurai Veeran to her left and Mariamman to her right. Mariamman is, of course, is avatar of Parvati, and the Mariamman temple are built by non-Brahmins, and often the pujaris are not Brahmins, except occasionally. For example, I saw one in Malaysia where the pujari was a Brahmin. Currently, Ayyasami Tiwar, a Chettiar, is the caretaker of the temple. In front of the temple there are agarbatti dealers. The Vietnamese buy agarbatti. This is the interior of the temple. They would not let me take a picture of Mariamman. These are current caretakers. He spoke little English, but I'm sure they spoke Vietnamese very well. Tamil was also very little. The Vietnamese worshipping, in fact, the Vahana of Mariamman, which is a lion, and they use the agarbatti like they do in the Buddhist temples. This is an example of what the faith can be. Faith can also be an outcome of ignorance and sometimes deep knowledge. Ignorance seems to predominate over knowledge in many of the practices, but it gives them a deep sense of satisfaction. But the greatest contribution of faith and religion. Temple is kept clean, unlike what I do see in India, with a lot of vigrahas on the wall and well decorated. Girl goes to each of these statues on the wall and worships with her agarbatti and put one in each of these agarbatti kundalas. So the Hinduism here is more of a practice based on the Buddhist approach. I'm seeing more of Vietnamese bhaktas, and I yet to see a Hindu in this temple other than myself here so far. Nothing much can be seen. The Ramaswamy is the caretaker. This is his Vietnamese wife in the temple. I gave her the material that I found her husband's name in the internet, and she's reading that. This is Swami, their son, who is the current caretaker. They couldn't speak Tamil, they could speak very little English, because the Vietnamese was easier. The temple was clean, as you could see. There were several motorcycles and dogs inside the temple. Kinjai Vittupani temple. This is another name for Muruga. It's the third temple in Saigon. The Muruga is referred to here as also Armuga Swami because he's got a spear in his hand, and Muruga is considered the commander-in-chief of the heavens in the Hindu mythology. Muttaya is the caretaker of this temple, who is a Chettiar. His father is Palanivelu. He is married to a Vietnamese. Yes, I did walk barefoot in this temple simply because the flooring is so nice and clean. So is the quadrangle. There are various Utsava Vahanas present, and an artist is putting finishing touches to the Garuda Utsava Vahana. Another side view of the temple. Again, you can see how clean it is. Yes, there is a Thara in the Hindu temple, which is nice. They also have a new chariot. Tet festival is a lunar New Year of Vietnam, which is same as Buddha Purnami and Chinese New Year, and in 2010 falls on February 14, and the whole city is being decorated with flowers, and one can see the beauty. It's a week away. I won't be here on that day, and I am seeing the decoration. I am in the center city. I don't know name of this building, or it doesn't matter to me. The roads are broad, heavy traffic, large number of motorcycles, and yet there's a better discipline. Yes, this is not a strike or a possession of motorbikes. This is a average early evening traffic. People yet stop when a pedestrian crosses. A close-up of these decorations. Oh yes, it is the Social Republic of Vietnam. So what? Average people are happy. They got the means, they got the shelter, they got food, they got shopping malls, they got vehicles. They don't vote. What does it matter really? In a democratic setup of US or India, only 30% or less votes anyway. What's the big deal? The beauty is there in all these gardens in the middle of the city. People are relaxing and eating. Children are playing. Of course, there is a designer stores, and behind that is Sheraton. The architecture is predominantly French, as they took over in early 19th century. And what more you want? Yes, it is Tech 2010. The 2010 is what I'm a little disturbed about, because that's the Georgian calendar year. Buddha was born over 500 years before that date. Why it is not taken, I am unable to explain. The decors are amazing. Smoking is not prohibited. After all, came from the French culture. And yet, traditional approach of carrying things goes on and on. Bars are plenty, so are the customers. Maybe communist approach works as they got everything except newspapers can't make money as people cannot keep on barking on worthless things, not voting. And further, unlike India, here the far better discipline and cleanliness everywhere. There's no freedom to throw trash all over. No problem with art gallery. When the sun goes down and the lights flare up in Ho Chi Minh City, this is the appearance of traffic and the light. The family taking picture of their child. With the fire on the roadside. In the middle of all this thing, there is a nice wedding. And congratulations to the couple. They let me take their photograph. The place is nicely decorated with all the guests sitting. Marble Mountain is a place located about 11 kilometers southeast of Da Nang city. It's actually a group of 5 smaller mountains which are named like a Pancha Mahabhuta. For example, Kim refers to metal, Mak refers to wood, Thai refers to water, Hoi refers to fire, and Tio refers to earth. There are pagodas and temples in the tower and several caves. In the 14th and 15th centuries, several Buddhist monks did the meditation here. In this area, there are several pagodas, and because there is a lot of marble, there are several marble artisans who make different sculptures, which is mostly Chinese and Buddhist appearance. These are closer look of the marble and a finished product. I will go up these rough steps to see the caves, and this is definitely not for that very special person. Things are pretty rough here. Some of these steps are over 1 foot and uneven. No wonder not many tourists are here. This is the map of this location of various mountains and the caves. To make it more interesting, even when you walk on a level which is actually inclined to about 35 degrees, fortunately there are some benches to sit and it's hot and humid. There are people coming down. You can see them. Fortunately, there are no stupid monkeys to deal with as in many Hindu temples. In spite of all this, it's very clean. There is always happiness at the top. This is a Buddhist place, more of a happy Buddha. One can see the Buddha temple with a lot of flowering garden. such a nice pagoda. A 180-degree view of the small mounts and the view of the city from this observation tower. On one of the smaller mounts, there is a pagoda that can be seen. View of the courtyard of one of the pagodas, especially the one that is a Happy Buddha one, from the observation tower. This is the entrance to one of the caves. As one sees this cave, there is a vigraha and the murti is well carved, unless it is carved somewhere else and put in this place. To be along could be the name of this place, or say do not damage. I would not know how to read this. Thank God shoes can be worn in the Buddhist places, as there are several steps, and this is a large cave. On the top is a Buddha in meditation posture, and on the ceiling there are several skylights to give some light.